Arkansas, we just switched over to 12 o'clock. So good afternoon from the natural state. We are about to begin our IAM webinar series. So this is going to be recorded. We are recording this. So we're going to start the recording now, and then I'll get going as soon as the recording starts. All right, I'm showing that we are recording, so I will say good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jody Carter. I am one of the commissioners for the Certified Emergency Manager program through IAEM, located in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we're going to spend the next little bit of time talking through what the CEM program is, what the AEM program is, and how you can attain and complete your application for the CEM and AEM credential. This is the first of 4 webinars that we're going to conduct over the next few months. We did this last year in 2017 with a lot of success and had requests to do it again. So here we are. So March 14th, that's today. We'll do another one in a month, another one a month after that, another one a month after that. So between these 4 webinars, you will have from us close to 4 hours worth of information and Q&A. We do have a chat window that's open as part of your GoToWebinar window. We've got that chat that's open. So if you have questions, please put questions in there. We've got some of our fantastic friends from the IAM staff. We've got Chelsea and Kate and Sharon that are joining us, and they're working the magic behind the scenes to help us make this presentation possible. So we appreciate them and all their work. And they're going to be monitoring the chat room, the chat window. So if you have questions, put them in there. Chelsea and Kate and Sharon are going to be monitoring that. My plan is to go for about 40 minutes talking to you guys about our agenda here. Everyone is on mute, but if you have questions, put them in the chat window. And I'm scheduling about 20 minutes at the end to pose questions or to answer questions, at least as best as I can. Last year, there were several that, quite frankly, I didn't know the answer to, and I'm sure that will happen again today. So if I don't know the answers, or if we think the other family doesn't have a clue, then we can double dare them to answer it. Wait, nope, I think I'm getting off course. So if we're not able to answer the questions, we will put them in our FAQs that we maintain on the website. So if you got questions, pose them there. Then we'll get to those as we can. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Hopefully you're able to see it on your screen. A little bit about the Featured Mentor Program, a little bit about what the CEM and AEM programs are. I'll show you the online application software to give you an idea of what you're going to see when you go in to submit your application. We're going to talk about the essay. That's an area that folks can trip up on. So we're going to talk about the essay as well as a few other pitfalls. A little bit on upgrading from AEM to CEM, and then open it up for questions and Q&A, and let this become a little more active than just Jody the talking head. So I do want to give a plug for our Featured Mentor Program, our IAEM Featured Mentor Program. These are CEMs who have volunteered and agreed to serve as mentors to help people who are still working through the process be a little more successful. They've been through it. They have an idea of what the commissioners are going to be looking for whenever we review your applications. They're not able to approve it. It's still subject to review and all of those good disclaimers, but the Featured Mentor Program will help you be more successful on your first submission. So I encourage you to go to that website, iaem.com/mentors. Find a mentor that's near you that maybe is in the same field as you are in. I full-time job. I work in healthcare. I do full-time healthcare emergency management. So healthcare emergency management folks might want to reach out to another healthcare EM person whereas someone who's maybe military EM or government EM might want to reach out to one of their colleagues. So I encourage you to look at that and find someone who's nearby and who works in the same field as you to help you help review your application to make you a little more successful. So let's talk about our certification program. Let's talk about the CEM and the AEM program, and let's just start with the International Association of Emergency Managers itself. The association. Who are we and what do we do? Here's our mission. Our mission is to become, and quite frankly, it's Jody's opinion that we are, but it's our mission to be recognized globally as the premier organization for emergency management. To expand on that, I tell people when I'm explaining to them what CEM is, I tell them it's the gold standard for certification in our field. And our mission is to advance the profession, to serve our members, and to work within the emergency management profession itself to make it better, make it stronger. And that's what we're looking for. How strong are we? As of we pulled these numbers a couple of days ago. They're going to go up here shortly. We're currently going through another review process right now, so these numbers will be going up soon. But as of a few days ago, we had just over 1,800 CEMs and 231 AEMs. You can see here on the screen how they're broken down by council. Here in the U.S., 1687 CEMs and 218 AEMs. Canada, our friends across the Pacific and across the Atlantic, you can see their numbers there. And then down south, three down in Latin America for CEM as well. So this is an international program. We do have international participants. We do have folks from around the world that are participating, and we're proud to have them. We're looking forward to hitting 2,000 CEMs very soon, and we hope that let's see, we've got 117 people attending right now. We hope that you 117 attendees will bring us closer to our number of 2,000 current CEMs. One thing that we want to talk about is that CEM or AEM, these two certifications are designed to focus on comprehensive emergency management. And they are for professionals who work in comprehensive emergency management positions, not just one or two, but all of the emergency management fields. Okay. So I'll tell you, my background comes out of fire and EMS world. I spent several years in the back of an ambulance around Arkansas. I love my brothers in blue and red, but a responder is not the same as an emergency manager. So someone whose positions are related to primary response is going to have to demonstrate where they have fulfilled the concept of meeting comprehensive emergency management in those positions. So this is a comprehensive EM position. We are looking at all four phases: mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery for both natural, man-made, and attack type situations. Okay, what are our goals? What are we trying to accomplish by doing this? We're trying to elevate the emergency manager, elevate the visibility. We're trying to make sure that emergency managers are constantly learning, but also constantly contributing to the field. We'll talk here in a little bit about maintaining certification, but the longer you have this credential, the less education you've got to document every recertification period. However, the more contributions we expect you to make. So we'll talk about that here closer to the end of the presentation. But then also we want to make sure that we're meeting minimal KSAs, or knowledge, skills, and abilities. So I like this slide here. It differentiates the CEM requirements and the AEM requirements. The box that's the light blue box that says Associate Emergency Manager, those are the 5 components of the application that the AEM applicant will have to submit. So I have to complete an essay, and the reason that one's in red is we're going to talk about that one in detail today. Got to complete an essay, submit evidence of emergency management and general management training, some letters of reference, and complete the exam. for our applicants who want to become certified emergency manager or the CEM, you've got to do those same 5, but also 3 more. You've also got to submit evidence of a certain number of professional contributions, a certain number of years of practical experience in the field, as well as formal education, at least to the bachelor's level. Each of our remaining 3 webinars are going to cover those 7 boxes in future webinars. So we're going to talk, we're doing an overview today. We're going to talk about the essay today. The future 3 webinars that I very much encourage you to participate in will cover the other 7 boxes in the coming months. So the certification process itself, we like to spell it out as a 5-step process. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is go to IAM.com and create an account. If you've already got one, don't make another one. If you've already got an IAM account, an IAM membership, don't create a duplicate, because what might happen there is one might get deleted and you lose everything. And we don't want that to happen. You don't want that. We don't want that. So make sure you don't create a duplicate account. Okay. Once you create the account, you can begin your application. You've got to pay the certification fees. Then when your application is finished and you're happy with it, maybe your mentor has helped you go over it, you submit it and take an exam. The exam and the application submission can go either way. You can do either one you want to first. You can work on your packet first and then worry about the test, or you can take the test first and worry about the packet later. So you can do one or the other. Once your packet, your application is submitted electronically online, the commission reviews it. We review applications every other month. And so we're currently this month in a review cycle. So the commissioners will review it. All applications are reviewed by at least 2 commissioners. Could be up to 4 or 5, depending on the packet, but all applications are reviewed by at least 2 commissioners. Once the commissioners have discussed and agreed upon the application, then notice is sent to the candidate, letting them know of their of the outcome. If, and this happens sometime, if the packet was found to be deficient, if there were some components missing, then you'll be notified from that notice. You will be informed that your packet was deficient. And that you have an opportunity to resubmit. You've got 90 days to resubmit, and we'll tell you in the letter. We tell you exactly what was deficient and what you need to do to fix it. You got 90 days to resubmit that. The commission will review it again. We get different commissioners to review it the second time. That way, we have more eyeballs on it. Then the notice is sent to the candidate that hopefully at this point you've been successful. If not, there is an appeals process, but we want you guys to be successful. Quite frankly, I'll tell you from having reviewed these from the last, I think I'm in my 4th year as a commissioner, from having reviewed however many scores of applications I've looked through, our intent is to find a way to help you be successful. It is not our goal to look for any reason to say no. Our goal is to look for a way to be able to say yes. And that's what our goal is when we're reviewing them. And so if we need to do a little bit to help, we can. If we need to move some hours, we want you to be successful. But at the same time, please help us understand what it is you're submitting. So if there is a appeals process needed, we've got it. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on y'all being successful the first time around, because that's what we want. We've got fantastic website tools to help you be successful. Here's the link here, IAM.com. You can, if you go to the website, IAM.com, search for CEM resources. It's there. We've got a training allocation chart to help you with the number of hours, a bunch of frequently asked questions. In the newsletter, we have articles written occasionally that you're able to have access to, a study guide, different references we recommend that you study, and of course, again, the featured mentor program. If you still can't find the answer, feel free to email us. There's the email address at the bottom. It's also on this slide in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll have it again at the very end. It's ceminfo@iam.com. Email us, and we've got fantastic staff, and and our volunteer commissioners that will be able to help you with this. So let's move on to the online application. Again, just as a reminder, this is the webinar for the CEM and AEM program. This is the first of a series of 4. Our application is an online application now. Years ago, whenever I did this for the first time, 10, 11 years ago, we actually had to send in a bunch of binders with all the paperwork in it, mine filled, an inch and a half 3-ring binder. It's now online, substantially easier for you guys. It's a good online portal. Whenever you go to the website and you go to log in, this is what you're going to see when you go to IMCM.org. This is what you're going to see on the website. Again, don't create a duplicate account, okay? Because if you do, then stuff might get deleted. If you got questions, give our headquarters a call up in Falls Church, Virginia. Give them a call. The ladies are fantastic and will be happy to help you. So you're going to come here to this website. You're going to log in. Once you log in, your name will be over there on the upper right-hand corner. We've got it blacked out for this example, but you've got 2 choices. You can add an application or you can look at a current application. If you don't have a current application, nothing to look at. So you're going to click Add Application. Whenever you click Add Application, it's going to ask you, are you wanting to add a CEM or an AEM or a lifetime application? Which of them is it you're looking for? So you're going to pick whichever is appropriate for you. For this presentation, we're focusing on the CEM and AEM. So you're going to select the CEM. And hit submit, or AEM if that's what you're looking for, and hit submit. Whenever you hit submit, it's going to pop you over to your to-do list, and this is what you're going to see. These are all the steps that you're going to have to complete. Okay, AEM and CEM applicants will see a to-do list. Again, CEM applicants do have those 3 additional required components that AEMs don't have, but it's clear in the application. It's even in red font that says this doesn't apply to AEM. So it's clear in there. So you'll click on the above link right there where it says application and CEM and the CEM's underlined. Click on the above link to access your application. You'll click there and you'll be able to walk through these line by line. Okay. So whenever you click on that word that says CEM, this is what you're going to see. You're going to have a chance to work through each of these sections one by one. This is set up in an accordion file, accordion concept, accordion style format's what we've got written there. So if you click on cover sheet, the cover sheet will drop down. When you click on cover sheet again, it sucks it right back up. You click on section 1, that drops down. Okay. At the end of every section, there's also a go on button. That means I'm going to go on to the next section. So if you're done with the cover sheet, when you get to the bottom of it, you click go on. It automatically takes you to work history. When you're done submitting your work history, you hit go on and you go to the reference requirement. Okay, and so on. There is, for our CEM applicants, there is a there is an option that we give to you to be considered for the AEM credential if we find your CEM application is incomplete. So if you've got all the education, all the training, so you got all the training that's required and the letters of reference that's required, and your essay is a good essay, but you just don't have the minimum number of years of experience, let's say. Let's say that you've only got 6 months of practical experience in the field of emergency management. You've got everything else. You're just short on the number of hours. If you on the number of years of experience. If you click this box, then we could offer you the AEM. Say, sorry, you're a little short still on the, say, years of experience to meet CEM, but we could offer you, and we'd like to offer you the AEM. So click that right there, and we're able to consider that. If you don't check it, then it's all or nothing. It's CEM, all or nothing. You can convert from AEM to CEM anytime in your 5-year period. So it doesn't cost any more. It's free. We just want to know your wishes. So check that box if you would like your application to be considered for an AEM if you don't meet the CEM. Okay. Now on every one of the pages, I told you at the bottom there's a little blue button that says Go On. Well, also off to the right-hand side on every screen, there are these 2 blue circles. Those are also buttons. And save just saves your application, saves it where it's at, and you keep moving on. If you want to save it and exit the application, click save and exit. How about that? That'll take you back to your home screen, what we saw a few slides ago. I recommend you hit save. Quite frankly, when I'm reviewing applications, we have the same tools. I hit save obsessively. Okay. After I do 1 or 2 or 3 lines, I hit save obsessively, because I've had it happen where I've done an entire page of work reviewing applications. Quite frankly, I just recerted a few months ago myself. So when I was doing my recert application, I was saving obsessively. I've been reviewing applications and done a whole page worth of work, and then something happens with my computer. They're going to hiccup at the worst possible time, of course, and I lose that entire page, maybe that hour's worth of work. So just like you do whenever you're working on a file on your computer, hopefully you obsessively hit Control S to save, obsessively hit the save button here, and save your application. So that's the online form itself. That's what the website looks like. That's how it operates. We are going to have questions and answers at the end. So if you have questions, if I maybe went too fast, I kind of feel like I'm talking a little fast. So actually, I'm going to take a drink of water so I slow down. There we go. So if I went through that too fast, if you'd like me to go back over some of those parts, the go on button or save versus save and exit or the accordion, any of those, if you'd like me to go over that again, put your question in the chat window and we will answer those in the last 20-25 minutes of our time together. Okay, so that's the online application itself. Get in there, click around, and work on your application. So let's move forward to the essay. So one of the requirements is that you've got to write an essay. In this CEM or AEM application process, we don't have an interview. We generally don't reach out to you and ask you questions and make you justify. There are times where we might reach out just for some clarification on something, but as a rule, we don't do that. The essay is what we have in lieu of an interview. Okay, so as you're writing your essay, keep in mind that this is your chance in 1,000 to 1,500 words to explain to us that you have a solid grasp of the concepts of emergency management. Okay, you're going to show us through the previous parts of the application that you've sat through, FEMA independent study courses, and that you've got a degree, and that your boss has written you a letter of recommendation. They think you're fantastic and they highly support you. This is your chance to shine, to show us that you have a grasp on the concept of emergency management and that you understand the phases. You understand mitigation versus recovery versus preparedness versus response. When does response end? When does recovery begin? This is your chance to show us that you understand that. And we do that, again, through an essay. And everybody is given the same scenario. The scenario is on this page, bullet number 3. Okay, this is the scenario. This is the question that you are going to answer in your 1,000 to 1,500 word essay. So we say that you're a new emergency manager, whether you're just hired or promoted, whatever you want to pretend it is. Okay, you are the new emergency manager for an organization. As the new emergency manager, you've reviewed the plans and the AARs and the training records, and your first task is to develop and present a written description of a specific problem and how you're going to solve it. Okay, so we don't tell you what the problem is. We don't tell you how to solve it. A lot of people will say we need a comprehensive training and exercise program. Great, that's a fantastic problem. Explain to us how you're going to do that. Okay, some of them will say, I don't know, I work in a hospital and we don't have a decon team, and so your problem is we don't have a decon team. Problem with that, by the way, is it needs to be comprehensive: mitigation, response, recovery, preparedness, all 4 phases. A decon team is, quite frankly, primarily in the response mode. So just make sure that whatever the problem is and whatever the solution is is able to tell us and prove to us that you have a comprehensive, solid grasp of the phases of emergency management. From a technical standpoint, it needs, again, 1,000, 1,500 words. We want it in 12-point font, 1-inch margins, double spaced. And actually, yes, y'all, we look at that. If it's single spaced, that's one of the things we review. Okay, so 1,000 to 1,500 words, 12-point font, 1-inch margins. Okay, double spaced. We also require at the end of the document for you to type the sentence, "I verify that I've independently completed this essay," and then sign it. Now, you can sign it in one of two ways. You can print off the document, physically sign it with wet ink, scan it back as a PDF and upload it to us. If you have your signature saved as a small little JPEG, you could maybe insert that into your word processing file, save that as a PDF and upload it. Or if you don't want to do that, you can type, "I verify I've independently completed this essay," and then just type your name with the hash mark or the slants on either side. Okay, so you can see here it says you can type an electronic signature in the format of slash. Then I put Jody Carter slash. Okay, so that is, we consider that a legally binding electronic signature, and then date it. Okay. If you don't put this at the end, if the end of your essay, if it's a beautiful, perfect essay, but at the end of the essay, you have not written the phrase, "I verify I've independently completed this essay," and then sign it either wet ink and scan or electronically, then it's rejected. Your entire application can be perfect. You could have gotten every point possible in every hour possible. If you're missing that line, your essay is automatically rejected and your application has to be sent back to you to be fixed. It's a super easy data point. It's an easy check mark on your checklist, folks. And I hate it whenever we have to send one back to a candidate because they overlooked this line. We've done it. I don't like it. Please don't make us do it. Okay, super easy. So that's the essay. Now, as you're writing the essay, there are certain components that we need to see. Okay, and these are the 6 sections that we recommend your document be ordered in. So we recommend that the first thing you talk about is the problem to be solved. The second section is the objective to be achieved. Some people even put section 1, the problem. That's awesome because we're able to see that's where the problem statement is. And then they'll write section 2, objective. Love it, do it. And continue down through those 6 sections, okay? And make sure that you talk about every one of these sections. The clearer you can make it for us, the better that we are able to understand what you were trying to convey, and the easier our scoring will become. I'm not trying to say you need to make it easy for us, because our job is to be here for you. But if you make it easy for us, it's a little easier for us to grade it. Okay, so we'll all work together. Line your essay out in these 6 sections. Okay, and as you're discussing these 6 sections, make sure that you hit these 9 KSAs: knowledge, skills, and abilities. Make sure you hit these 9 KSAs. Okay, and I'll tell you this, folks. Simply listing the phases of emergency management once and never discussing them again is not demonstrating a comprehensive grasp of the concepts of emergency management. Okay, so if you're let's say the training and exercise, okay, under prevention or preparedness, you can talk about how we train people, and that's helping them get prepared. And for mitigation, we might have done some we might have gotten some specialized insurance, and so we're going to educate our managers on what some of the trigger points are that could allow us to trigger an insurance claim. That could be part of maybe mitigation, is educating them that we have an insurance policy against something. Response, again, if your scenario is you're going to develop a training and exercise program, the response component might be that when a bad event happens and you have to go into response mode, you're training and exercise. You might have someone from training and exercise who is the evaluator of the response so that you can write the AAR. And then the recovery is how you get better after the fact. Okay. That's just kind of off the cuff. As you're writing this document, make sure that you show us that you have a knowledge of the organization. Um, I I've reviewed an essay before where the applicant was talking about a problem statement within an organization. It just so happens I'd had experience with that organization, and the problem statement was not a factual problem statement. And so make sure that you've got demonstrated knowledge of that organization. We've got a wide range of commissioners from a variety of backgrounds. So show us that you have an understanding of your organization and the environment. Talk about some code, some legislation, some specific maybe accreditation or licensure requirements. Okay. Again, I'm going to use healthcare because that's my background, but talk about Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, and that CMS under this particular rule requires this and requires that, or maybe your accrediting body, or maybe your state licensing body. Those are some examples, okay? And then last, number 9, as opposed to what I'm doing right now, have some good communication skills. I feel like I'm babbling at the moment. So demonstrate some solid communication skills. I do want to, let's see, getting a chat message here. Thank you, Sharon. Yes, there's another good resource on that resource center page that we mentioned a little bit ago. We do have some essay evaluation criteria, and we share with you the exact criteria that we look for when we're evaluating your essay. We actually take, I'm gonna back up one slide. Let's see if I can do this. There we are. We look at these 6 sections, and we make sure that indeed you've addressed those 6 sections. We also look at these 9 KSAs, and we look to see how well that you've addressed all 9 of these KSAs. And so on our resource page, we've got the essay evaluation criteria. Please refer to that, okay? Please refer to that. That evaluation form will give you an idea. You or have a third party, maybe have your mentor read your essay and grade it against that evaluation form. It will give you an idea of if you're on track or not. So that's the essay there. Again, 1,000, 1,500 words, 12-point, 1-inch margins, double spaced, okay? So what are some pitfalls? What are some problems that we commonly see that we want to make sure that you jump over these pits, okay? There are 4 here. I'm going to go off script and add a 5th, okay? The one I'm going to add that's not on here is a lack of documentation. We will talk in future webinars about your education and your training and your contributions, but all of those have to have supporting documentation. Tune into those webinars, get more information on that, but missing independent documentation is one of the pitfalls. Additionally, from what we've talked about today, now kind of getting back on track to what we've talked about in our last 30 minutes together, a sloppy or an out of order application, for example, instead of uploading your essay in the essay spot, you upload your college transcript there, and then you put your essay where you should have uploaded your transcript, okay? Maybe reversing those 2 files. So having the wrong PDFs. That's an example of a sloppy or an out of order application. Also, the essay that's missing that signed statement at the bottom, we see that. That's an easy one, folks. Just take a big hop over that. Make sure you've got that signed statement at the bottom so that we're able to celebrate your success. And then also within the essay, not having all those KSAs listed and not having the 6 design points becomes an issue. Okay. As well as the lack of signatures at the bottom. So as we just discussed, we do have the essay evaluation criteria. Here's the link here on the screen. I'm not going to try to read that to you, but it is also a link directly on our resource center that I'd recommend you find. As you get over the, not get over, but as your certification period continues. Once you are successful and you obtain the CEM or the AEM credential, you have to continue your education and continue your contributions in order to maintain it. Okay, it is a 5-year certification. You've got 5 years to submit the number of hours of training and the number of professional contributions that we require for recertification. So the first time you recert, which will be 5 years after you got it, so you get it today in 2018. By the end of 2023, you've got to submit 100 hours of training. Okay, at least 25 of those have to be in a general management. At least 25 of those have to be in emergency management, and the other 50 can be wherever. So 100 total. At least 25 of GM and at least 25 of EM, and then an additional 50 either way. Okay, so if you want to do 25 of GM and 75 of EM, that's fine. If you want to split it 50-50, that's fine, but at least 25 and 25. Okay, plus 3 different professional contribution categories. Sharon just raised a good point. Thank you, Sharon. Whenever going back to the training hours, 100 hours, right? 25, 25, and then 50 can go either way. Remember, we also have a topic maximum, and again, we'll hit this on the webinar where we talk about training, but we have a topic max of 25 hours in any one subject area. So you can't submit, I guess you could submit. We will only accept, say, 25 hours in mitigation. If you give us 30 or 32 or 40, we will only take 25 hours in the topic area of, say, mitigation. Okay, so 100 hours, 25 GM, 25 EM, another 50 can go either place, making sure that you respect the topic maximum. Okay, so 5 years, that's your training hours, plus 3 hours of professional, or 3 types of professional contributions at your 5 years. 5 years after that, so whenever you recert for the second time, and this is what I just completed a couple of months ago, is my 10-year recert. I had to turn in 75 hours of training. Of those, 20 were GM, 20 were EM, and the other 35 were something else. So you'll see from the first recert to the second recert, we've reduced the number of training hours required. The idea is you've been in it this long, you shouldn't need as much re-education. But on the flip side, you've been in it longer, you should be contributing more. You should be giving back more to the profession. Okay. Same thing at 15. It's 50 hours instead of 75, but it's 5 contributions. When you're 20-year certified, holy cow! If you're going through your 4th recert, you've only got to submit 40 hours of training, 15 and 15, with 10 going either way. 15 of GM, 15 of EM, with 10 hours going to either section. But 6 contributions, okay? 6 different types of contribution. So that's your maintaining certification. If you do get your AEM, you've got you can upgrade at any time for no additional fee. At least that's the rule right now. So if you've got an AEM, you can upgrade at any time for no additional fee. And the newly upgraded CEMs retain their original class year. Whew, okay, so they will be required to recert 5 years from when they receive their CEM. We do have a prep course to help you get ready for your application. We go over a lot of what we're talking about now on these webinars. We talk about the application itself. We also go over the examination. This is a fantastic prep course if you're interested. It is a $495 fee to attend the course. Okay. We don't teach you the concepts of EM. We teach you the application. Okay. If you're interested, email Chelsea. Her email address is there on the slide, or you can email the cem.info@iam.com, and we can make sure Chelsea gets that email. But Chelsea is the one right now who's coordinating our prep course. So email her. We will have that at the IAM conference, and they're offered a few other times throughout the year. So it's $495, fantastic investment to help you with your application. Again, I cannot emphasize enough the featured mentor program. Find a mentor, find someone who's been through this, and ask them to help you with your application. Quite frankly, I did this for a buddy a couple of years ago, very good friend of mine, and his application had a whole lot of holes in it. I pointed out a lot of deficiencies. He wasn't happy about it. Day later, we were good again, and he submitted his application and was much more pleased after he had worked on it some more. So get a featured mentor. Let a mentor help you. In the long run, it could save some heartache. Okay. So we're about to the point of where we're looking for questions and answers. So I know Chelsea and Sharon have been. Sharon and Chelsea and Kate have been watching the chat room, so they're going to start feeding me some questions that have come through. In the meantime, y'all, I'm going to leave this slide up for the remainder of our time together. This is where you can get some information on the mentors, how you can reach us through social media, our email information, our telephone number. As I start looking for questions, what have we got? 127 people that are with us. So thank you all for being here. Oops, one just dropped off. Oh, well. So first question, is the military considered working in the field? It depends on what you do in the military. There are some branches that have specific emergency management MOSs, and if you have that specific type of job where you are working in regularly full-time in a comprehensive emergency management position while wearing a uniform, we appreciate that. We thank you for doing that, and we are happy to evaluate that. On the flip side, if you are if your job is driving a tank and that's what you do, you're very good at it, you're proud of it, you should be, you drive a tank, that's probably going to not have all of the intent of a comprehensive emergency management position. So it depends on what your MOS is as to whether or not it meets requirements. Okay. Next question. Do you have to wait until the experience has been achieved before taking the exam and submitting the application? Well, so you can, let's first talk about application exam. You can take the exam before or after you submit your application. So you can do exam then application, or application then exam. You can do those in either. Shoot, you can do them both. All right. If you want to be working on your work, if you want to be working on, my word, my grandmother, the English teacher, would kill me for that. If you would like to work on your application and concurrently study and take your exam, then more power to you. But on your application, anything that you submit has to be completed already. Okay. So, and I don't want to go too far into the contributions because we do have that webinar coming up in a couple of months. But just as an example, if one of the contributions is that you have attended 40 hours worth of conferences, you have to have actually already completed 40 hours worth of conference contact before you can submit it. You can't say, I plan on going to a 40-hour conference in 6 months. In that case, you would need to wait until after you had actually completed the conference attendance. So hopefully that answers that question. Let's see, next one. Why do we have to do an essay if we have a bachelor or master's degree in emergency management? Fantastic question. I don't know who's asking these questions, but great question. Thank you for asking that one. Why do we have to complete the essay if we already have a degree in emergency management? Again, it's because as we're looking through your application and we're looking at the number of hours of training you've submitted, and we're checking your transcript to ensure that yes, a degree was conferred. As we're reading through your letters of recommendation, looking at your contributions, we're still not able to get that interview-like feel for your understanding of comprehensive emergency management. So the essay is your chance to show us that you do understand these concepts. That not only have you attended some classes in Emmitsburg or Anniston or online where you've completed some training on mitigation, or even a master's degree course on mitigation. I've completed the same degree program, so I understand. If you know, I sat through a 3-credit-hour master's level course on mitigation. The essay gives us the opportunity to see you take those concepts and apply them in a real world setting. And so it's akin to the job interview. If you were looking at this as a job application, this would be akin to the interview process. So thank you for that question. Let's see. do courses at my state EM count? So I'm guessing you're asking your state Department of Emergency Management. So do courses at my state Department of Emergency Management count? So whenever we get into the training section, we've got that webinar coming up in a few months where we will talk about the general management and the emergency management training components of the application. When we get into that, we'll dive into that a little deeper. I will tell you that we've got one of the resources on that resource page is a training allocation chart, a sample training allocation chart. It gives you ideas of some of the training activities that we are familiar with, that we've looked at, that we've vetted, with some contact hours that we have been that we've received evidence for that they complete a certain number of hours. Okay, so if your Department of Emergency Management course is on that training allocation chart, then you're good to go. If it's not, then what you can do, because quite frankly, y'all, people submit training to us all the time that we've never heard of. And so you will submit evidence you've completed the training. You will also submit to us a copy of the course description to help us understand what the course was about, so that we can validate and verify indeed this class was related to comprehensive emergency management. So great questions. I tell you, I like here in Arkansas, it's ADAM, Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. They teach some fantastic courses. So I absolutely appreciate that question and enjoy sitting through my state EM courses as well. Let's see, who's next? Let me take a sip of water here. All right, thank you for that commercial break. Where were we? Can you give examples of where people go to get training? Are FEMA online training courses accepted? Again, I'd refer you at the Resource Center to look for a training allocation chart. Training allocation chart has got, oh mercy, I'd say several hundred line items of courses that we've looked at and vetted, from university courses to FEMA independent study, FEMA in residence courses, classes at Emmitsburg, classes at Anniston. But again, if you've got some that aren't on that list, just send us the course description and its objectives and the syllabus. That's what I'm looking for, or the course syllabus, to give us an idea of what that class entailed. So good training questions here. We've got a few more minutes, so we're going to continue to take questions. If you've got questions, please submit them in your chat window as we're processing through them as quickly as we can. Still got about 116 attendees. Let's see, what document formats can be uploaded? Ooh, what document formats can be uploaded? I'll tell you this. We love PDFs, okay? We love PDF formats. I recommend, this is Jody now, I recommend you submit everything as PDF. We can accept others. Off the top of my head, I don't know what all of them are, so I'm going to go back to our staff, to Chelsea and Sharon. Sharon, if you can find in the application what the various file types are that we'll accept, would you put that in the chat window for me? But folks, quite frankly, if you can submit it as a PDF, that's beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna wait and I'm having to use my phone a friend. Okay, next question. When you reference the phases of emergency management, do you want us to use prevent, protect, respond, recover, mitigate, or the more classic prepare, respond, recover, mitigate? So in essence, what you're asking is prevention. Is it one of the phases or not? For the purposes of the essay, great catch, by the way. I don't know who submitted that, but great catch. In the essay, we do want to see you address those five. Okay. Whenever you look at the essay evaluation tool, you will see that we do indeed look for those five phases of EM. Okay. So make sure that you have addressed prevention and preparedness. Okay. So those five, make sure that you're again looking at your essay evaluation tool. Okay. Thanks for the question. So Kate has chimed in. Hi, Kate. So Kate has chimed in, and thank you, Kate, for that phone a friend answer. Going back to what type of document file types can we accept? With the understanding that there are size limits to the uploads, we can accept most files. We can accept PowerPoints, JPEGs, moviefiles.mov. We've had people submit .msg files. It's a file out of some email software. I've seen people submit MSG or message files. I have trouble opening them, and I know several other commissioners do as well. So you can submit an MSG file, a message file. Just realize we might have to reach back out to you and ask you to convert it to a PDF and resubmit it, because several of us do have trouble opening those files. Again, PowerPoint, we can take most of your Microsoft products, we can take JPEGs, we can take. There are some people who maybe cannot scan. Oh, we've had people before who under contributions, they will have an award that they received, and the only proof they got the award is the nice crystal award statue thing sitting on their desk, right? Well, that's hard to put on the scanner. So in that case, they'll take a picture and they'll upload a JPEG. That's beautiful, love it. So JPEGs work. Your Office product files work. Those are great. Your files do have to be smaller than 75 megabytes. So please don't send us a super high resolution image of your pretty statue. We're proud of you for getting it, but we don't need a super high resolution, okay? With a maximum of 4 documents per category. So there's no need to send us 6 or 7 or 8 pieces of document or pieces of evidence that you've completed something. Try to keep those into 1 or 2 or 3, 4 at the most PDFs. Okay. So let's see, what are we looking at? We're 51 minutes into this presentation. We've got a few more questions coming in. If you've got questions, again, put them in your chat window. Make sure that you are also putting the other webinar series offerings on your calendar that are coming up in the coming months. Next question. When you reference the phases of emergency management, I think I just answered that one. I think I did. When you reference the phases of emergency management, do you want us to use prevent, respond, recover? Yes, I believe we just answered that one. I think I saw someone. Oh, there it is right there. There's one about law enforcement. If I was a police officer for our local police department for 18 years, but have been out of the service for 8 years, do I just need a copy of the position description and the dates of service? So I was a police officer for a local department for 18 years. I've been out. Okay, so 18 years of experience in law enforcement, but has been out of the force for 8 years. Do I need a copy of the position description and the dates of service? Do I just need a copy of the position description? So yes, you do need to submit a copy of the position description. You do need to submit independent evidence of the dates of service. So maybe a file from, or maybe a letter from the HR department, or maybe a retirement certificate or something on those lines that can independently verify your years of service, those 18 years of service. One thing I would recommend for our law enforcement officer friends, make sure that the information you're submitting clearly demonstrates where your position in law enforcement was involved in comprehensive emergency management. If you were a street cop or a detective, if you did, I don't know, drug interdiction for 18 years, then make sure that you're showing us how your years of service met the intent of comprehensive emergency management. All right, next question. What individual documents were we referring to on the application pitfall screens? I don't know. So we're going to go backwards in the presentation. We're going to look for application pitfalls. We're going backwards. That's going backwards. Application pitfalls. Here we go. So what individual documents were you referring to on this slide? Individual documents. I don't know. I don't know what I was talking about. What individual documents were referring to in the application pitfall screen? I don't know. I'm not seeing that bullet on here. If you can maybe help me understand, help remind me of what I said and clarify your question, resubmit in your chat window, and Sharon or Chelsea will send that to me, okay? Sorry, if you'll resubmit that one, please. We've got a few more minutes left, okay? Next, how much experience in the field is required for the CEM versus the AEM? It depends on what level you're going for, as well as what your degree is. Okay, so the number of years of experience um, it varies depending on if you're going for CEM or AEM, and if you have a degree or not, what your degree is in, so forth. I would recommend you look in the application itself where it's clearly spelled out. I don't know it off the top of my head. Um, uh, we additionally have that future webinar coming up where we will cover that. We will cover the experience requirement specifically. I'd strongly encourage you to tune in for that. Also feel free to send us an email, ceminfo@iem.com, if you need. Can a mentor be our direct supervisor? Yeah, sure. One thing I do want to talk about the mentor real quick. The mentor, send an email to ceminfo@iem.com and let us know that you're working with the mentor, because that mentor can use their mentorship as one of their contributions. Okay, so make sure that IAM is aware that you are formalizing that mentor-mentee relationship. That way, we can thank the mentor for their service by allowing them credit on their upcoming application. So, all right, about missing documentation. See, so it says about missing documentation. I'm assuming you're going back to individual documents under missing documentation. Oh, yes, I'm with you now. Okay, so on this slide where I was talking about application pitfalls, I went off script and I talked about a fifth bullet, and that fifth bullet was missing supporting documentation. Okay, so in everything that you submit, there has to be independent verification. Okay, so for example, if you take one of the FEMA independent study courses, we want you to give us a copy of the certificate independently verifying that you did complete it. If you attend a conference, we want you to submit independent verification that you attended the conference. If you claim job experience, we want you to submit independent verification of that job experience. Okay, so that's what we were talking about, and thank you for reminding me. Whenever on this slide that I've got here on the screen right now, whenever we were on this slide, I went off topic, talked about a fifth bullet, which was missing documentation, requirement documentation for everything. So so make sure that the documentation we require, and it's spelled out clearly in the application what we're looking for, make sure that you submit it in full. Okay. Next question. What are the benefits of obtaining the IAM CEM versus the state EEM? Ooh. All right. So one of the contribution, great question. What is the benefit of obtaining our IAM CEM versus your state, if your state has some sort of emergency management certification, right? Is it beneficial to do both? Beneficial to do both depends on the state, depends on the recognition. I'll tell you this, when it comes to the IAM certification, it is a internationally recognized certification. It does travel, it does convey easily state to state and country to country. I like the international certification. I obtained my state emergency management certification years ago. Actually, getting your state emergency management certification can be used as one of the contributions towards the IAM certification. So there is a benefit to doing both. It will, of course, depend on where you live and what your personal career objectives are. I'm pretty darn proud of my international CEM, and that's the one that I maintain. We're trickling down. I'm going to try to do one more question in the last 30 seconds or so. How currently, so I'm going to pick this one as my last question. Okay, y'all, this is going to be my last question because we've got 90 seconds left. I need to wrap up. How current is the featured mentor information? I see there are very few here in the Southern California area. So congratulations on living in SoCal. Never traveled there. Here it's beautiful. The featured mentor information, folks, is as current as the mentors provide the information to us. So if they have gotten new contact information, haven't updated us, then we don't know about it. But it is as current as what we know. So if there are not featured mentors in your area, find someone who may not be physically located near you, but is at least in the same career field. Okay, so if you can't find someone geographically close in the same field, find some. Yeah, shoot, y'all. This world is getting so small anyway, thanks to all these computers. So, yes, new mentors. Oh, oh, Chelsea just emailed me that she's not updated the mentor, so it is a few months old. So the mentor list is a little old, but Chelsea is going to be updating it very, very soon. And so we appreciate her for doing that. Folks, that is our hour. And we appreciate your time very, very much. That list, thank you, Chelsea. That list is current through 2017, so just a few months ago. So that mentor list is current as of just a couple months ago. Folks, if there were questions that you asked that I did not have a chance to get to, we will be putting them on the FAQ list that we maintain on our website, AEM.com. We appreciate so much all of you. I think the highest number of attendees we had was tickling 150. It was in the 140 somewhere, I believe I saw. So, folks, thank y'all for coming. Again, my name is Jody Carter. I'm the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator for Baptist Health out of Little Rock, Arkansas. I've enjoyed our time together. Everyone, thanks so much. This video or this session has been recorded. We will be uploading it very soon to our website. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. There is our slide. Where'd it go? With all of our contact information, there it is. And we appreciate your time. Thanks for your attention, folks. Have a fantastic afternoon. Be safe.